Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit Pluto Sextile or Trine one's natal Mars. Now, when you have this transit, this could manifest in power, control, transformation, passion, desire, probing. This could be in harmony with actions, with your energy and vitality, and I'm going to elaborate and expound on that. The thing is, this is about having more control over your actions at this time, more so than usual. It's, the actions are apt to be more productive and being able to expend the energy that's necessary. It's not about, I wouldn't say it's about, expending excessive amount of energy, but you can expend, the good amount of energy to do things and have control over this at this time as well. If you have your natal Mars and Aquarius, say those things, actions can be connected. With selfless humanitarian endeavors, it could be doing things, with computers, electronics, or astrology, as some examples. And I would say this is also an auspicious time for surgery because you're talking about both planets having a connection with that, and it can be very positive for that if it's something that you've been dwelling on for some time and you have made a decision on something that could be pertaining to surgery. This could be a very opportune time to do so. And it's also a time where it's about having the passion, desire, and taking initiative at this time. If there's you want to show something at your place of business, your job, or what have you, you might be more apt to show that initiative and be able to do so. You don't need any prompts from others, from a supervisor. If you're in a position where you're in a subordinate or subservient role at your job, this could be that time where you can you feel like you have more power to be able to do so, to show that initiative at this time more so than usual. And it's also a time as well where you have that energy and vitality. You have to make a major change or transformation in your life. This could be that time to do it. If there's a crisis that you have to deal with, this could be an opportune time to have the courage and the fortitude to contend with it. And this is also a time for you. When this when this transit does take place, if you have to, if there's a situation where you have to combat something, I don't mean necessarily physical. In some cases, it might be, but if you have to defend a situation or stand up for somebody, this is the time where you can you're more likely to be able to do so, having that passion, desire to do this, and being in control of the situation as well as you are speaking out. Whether it could be speaking out for somebody it could be for yourself. It can be a time as well when this transit does take place. It's also really about having just the energy and vitality for Plutonian things in general, whether it could be matters with the occult, which includes astrology or insurance or taxes. It could be recycling. It might be deep research and investigation as some examples. And this is a time as well, if you have anything, anything anatomically connected with Mars, such as say the head, the skull, the face, sexual organs. If there's something that is going on with these matters, and you've procrastinated, hesitated on them, this could be the time where, again, going back to Pluto being connected with passion, desire, this is the time where you may feel that you could actually do something about these matters. If there's something that requires surgical procedure, this could be a very auspicious time for that because, as I stated before, Pluto and Mars have a connection with surgery. Pluto being about surgery, making a good aspect to the natal Mars, it can be a very opportune and auspicious time to have surgery on one of the things I described that are anatomically connected with Mars at this time. And this is also a time too where it could be a positive aspect through for power through leadership. And I would say could be a very propitious time if you're trying to say, move up the ladder at your place of business, because the fact you're talking about Pluto, the planet of power, and Mars is leadership. Um, Having a manager position and moving from a subordinate or subservient position into management, you know, at a place, a supervisor role, those are positions of leadership. This is where you can have, a really, could be a very positive transit for that if it is something you desire to do. If you're a person that is trying to, say, move up the ladder at your place of business and you get tired of a subordinate role and it's been getting monotonous for you, what have you, this could be a good opportunity to do so. And it's also about a time, since Mars is connected, confrontation. If a confrontation is needed to be made with somebody, this could be a very a positive time for you to do so. And you could have the situation such where you're really could have more control over it, whether it could just be having your facts straight regarding the situation or what have you. This could be a very positive time for doing this. And if you have, Mars is connected with cuts and physical injuries in general, so this is also a time, again, if you have to, deal with something, that's connected, some physical related injury. If you have your natal Mars in the zodiac sign Cancer, it could be some injury connected with the chest, the breast, the stomach. It could be the ribs. This is a time where you may have more desire to actually take care of those matters at this time, more so than usual. And it's also a very positive time, I would say, for the controlling of anger at this time and being able, if you have, something going on, you're somewhat angry about something or something has gotten you, exasperated or agitated. It's a positive time for unleashing anger in a constructive manner. It could be simply hitting, a punching bag or going to the weight room, working out vigorously, as some examples. And Mars is about our physical strength as well. So it's about a very good, it could be a very good transit for doing things that Plutonian that require physical strength. If you're working on, say, if you have your transit Pluto in the fourth house as an example, if you're trying to remodel or renovate a home, it could be you're making the transformation of your home. Basically, it can be a time where you have more of the physical strength, the vitality, and energy to take care of these matters at this point in time. And anyway, well, another way this transit could manifest, it could be very positive for having the passion and desire, which is Pluto, for what drives and motivates you, which is Mars. Now, let's say, for example, going back to Mars and Aquarius as an example, it could be those things that drive and motivate you could be connected with innovation, astrology, astronomy, computers, electronics, meteorology, aviation, as some examples. And it also could be an auspicious time to get support, which is Pluto. And it can be for doing, say if it's getting that support for initiating, which is Mars something. Now, if the natal Mars is in Aries, as an example, it could, those things you may initiate could be an arson investigation, it could be carpentry, maybe there's something with speech pathology, or you're trying to find some, position, in the military, or you're trying out for some combat sport, as some examples. And also to Pluto-related people. When I say Pluto-related people, I'm talking about people that could be in Plutonian professions, such as someone with the occult, which includes astrology, or somebody in insurance or taxes, recycling, or investigation, some other examples. Or it could be someone you're in an intimate relationship with, could be more in harmony and agreement with what you have that enthusiasm, which is Mars, for. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, now let's say, for example, if the natal Mars is in Taurus, those things you have an enthusiasm for could be geology, gardening, cultivation, carpet laying. It could be architecture, agriculture, as some examples. Now it's also a time where it could be propitious for having the control, which is Pluto. Again, so reiterating what I said before, over anger, which is Mars. Let's say, for example, if the natal Mars is in Pisces, it could be over, situations with, you know, maybe over dreams, maybe that haven't come to fruition. It could be isolation. Maybe it's deception. Maybe you've been defrauded or somebody has deceived you in some way, shape, or form. And when I talk about isolation, it could be a time where it could actually be positive, maybe for isolation to deal with that anger, as some examples. And also too, it could be a positive time for desire and passion, which is Pluto, to do things that require physical strength. And let's say, which is Mars, and let's say, for example, if the natal Mars, say it's in Gemini, as an example, it could be doing something, with manual dexterity, requires manual dexterity, such as working on an automobile, or it could be, refrigeration mechanics, as some examples. But anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.